Welcome to another episode of Lunch with the Shark. Join us as we dive deep into discussions about business, accounting, and finance to help you build a business that thrives. Now sit back and have a bite with your host, the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa.
Hello, and welcome. Good afternoon, and actually welcome to a new with the Shark. I'm your host, your ghost host, Vidal the Shark CFO Espinosa, and I'm gonna do some house cleaning first of all. The first thing is we want to sincerely apologize for yesterday, but shit happens, and that actually shows that we are live. We are doing this live every single day because we love what we do, and we appreciate everyone that watches. And we had some technical difficulties yesterday, and we were muted for the whole 45 minutes that we were on the air. We want to thank everyone that took the time to send us messages on Facebook. Unfortunately, none of my production team was on Facebook, and as I am live, I am not checking Facebook. My team was like on the production side. Somebody else was on a phone with a client. So things are going on. We are live, and the business continues. The office continues. So we want to thank you for sending us those messages. We want to apologize for being muted. And in the next couple of days, we're going to post some of the text onto the YouTube channel. You can unfortunately read it there. I'll try my best to record something for you guys in regards to yesterday's episode. It was a good episode. It was about fear about finances, fear about your money, fear about knowing or validating what I know or what you know about your numbers. That was our episode. And on another tune, and before we dive into today's Lunch with the Shark, I and my team, we want to take this opportunity to thank every first responder for their work during our pandemic, battling the fires in California, and especially those who lost their lives 19 years ago today. We are very appreciative of your sacrifice and the value you value your service to our community, our society, our country every single day. Thank you so much for everything you do, for keeping our community safe, and most important, keeping our lives safe. Thank you. And on another issue, we've been talking all this week about accounting. Accounting, yes, that dreaded task that every single business owner has in their business. Every single business owner, whether you like it or not, whether it's there or not, whether you do it or not. Yes, dreaded accounting. In accounting, it's not just your books. Actually, accounting, it's not doing your books. It's not just doing your books. That's called bookkeeping. So how can I address this? Because it's very important. It's important to me. It might not be important to you guys. That's what we're here for, pretty much. An accountant, it's hugely different than the bookkeeper. And an accountant, it's very different to a controller and a controller, it's very different to a CFO. Each of them have very different roles in the financial area of your business. Each of them bring different value to your business. So let's take a minute to go over each one of them, and then we'll help you determine which one you need to add. Listen, you need to add to your organization, because every single organization at one point of time, it's going to need all four of them. We start with a bookkeeper, then an accountant, then a controller, then a CFO. They can be internal, external, depends on the volume, depends on the budget, depends on your structure, depends on your business model, depends on a shitload of things. But yes, sooner or later, you are going to need either a controller or a CFO, internal or external. You should have a bookkeeper and an accountant. Yes, you should have a bookkeeper and an accountant. Before we go into each one, I want to stop and say every business, no matter the size, should some sort of person that can be doing your financials for you. They should have someone in your organization, internally or externally, that can be providing you financials. Simple as that. Financials. Okay? You should have. Remember, yes, fuck your numbers. At least someone internally should be providing you some numbers. As a business owner, your job is to grow your business and follow the idea, follow your vision, follow your goals to grow that business. Accounting and the financial statements are tools that, combined with your blueprint, which is your business plan, it's going to help you achieve the vision and set forth that strategy for the future of your business. Let me repeat that. Financial statements are just tools combined with your business plan, your blueprint, are going to help you achieve the vision, the goals that you have set forth on the strategy for the future of your business. It's not your job to do bookkeeping, to do accounting, to know how to do your financials, to know how to read those financials, to do some tax planning, to implement that tax strategy, and at the end of the year, prepare your tax return. You are not in the accounting, tax preparing business. Yes, shocker, right? So it's very interesting because I actually have some clients that call us, and this happened to me last Tuesday or Wednesday. This guy called me, and we know each other. I know him, but it's very interesting because he wants to tell me which tax forms he's supposed to file. I'm like, I just listened to them, and I know which tax forms they require. But he's like, oh, we have to prepare this form for me, this form for me, this form for my wife. I want to be compliant with this, and this, and that. Like, dude, do you want me just to prepare them? do you want me to, what do you want me to do? Like, if you're telling me what to do, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm going to charge you what I'm going to charge you. You are not saving me neither time, nor knowledge, nor nothing. What do you want me to do? Because if you're telling me which forms you want me to prepare for you, what if I just prepare the ones you want, but there's additional forms for you to be compliant that you don't know that the IRS has rolled out, and I don't prepare them because I'm just doing what you want me to do? Focus on your business. Focus on growing your business. Let me focus on what it's going to make you compliant. Right? So it's not your job to know how to prepare those financials. It's not your job to do the bookkeeping. So let's go in. A bookkeeper, it's data entry. Bookkeeping, it's plain and simple data entry. I am not undermining the job of a bookkeeper. Not at all. We actually handle books for our clients. Separate piece. Yes, we do the data entry for those clients. Bookkeeping. We actually convert or we enter the banking information, the petty cash information, and any information that our client provides us into a accounting software. That's bookkeeping. That's it. The objective of bookkeeping, it's keeping the records of all financial transactions proper and systematic. Once a month, we enter data into the accounting system to do bookkeeping. For some clients, we do it on a weekly basis. For others, we do it on a monthly basis, bi-weekly basis. It all depends on how often we are going to issue financials or interim financial statements. Bookkeeping, it's a tool for the accountant to issue financial statements. Management really shouldn't be making a decision based on the data provided by the bookkeeper. Management should not utilize any data from the bookkeeper to make decisions. Bookkeepers don't require any specific skills sets. Therefore, really, any untrained person can do your books. Whether they're going to follow GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles, or not, we don't know. But anyone that can add or subtract, they can do bookkeeping. Financial statements are not prepared as part of this process. Remember, bookkeeping is just data entry. Bookkeepers are required to be accurate in their work, thorough, and knowledgeable about financial topics, but should not interpret them. Bookkeepers' work is usually overseen by an accountant. They are usually the least expensive of all of them. It's just a data entry. An accountant, on the other hand, it's the next level up. Accounting, it's the process of summarizing, interpreting, and communicating financial transactions. Yes, accountants, we actually have training, we actually have schooling, we actually know how to read, prepare, interpret that raw data that the bookkeepers provide us. Depending on the data provided by the accountant, management can take critical business decisions. Yes, we convert the data from the bookkeepers into financial statements. We provide those financial statements to management that them in turn convert them into a colloquial language to make decisions. They read those numbers, they analyze those numbers, management, and they make decisions. It actually helps us make decisions. Financial statements are prepared during this accounting process. Accounting requires special skills due to its analytical and complex nature. Accounting is not simple. Accounting, it's by definition an art. We have to be knowledgeable on how to strategize the classification of that data. Look, I'm going to give you an example. Or, well, let me finish this and then I'll compare you to. A bookkeeper can become an accountant. Okay? An accountant can become by trade and by training into a controller. We can move into a controller phase, and then the controller can move to a CFO phase. Accounting uses bookkeeping information to analyze and interpret the data and then compile them into reports. So accountants, we prepare reports. We prepared information based on what management it's asking for. Hey, management, I'm going to give you a real example. And this is a real example from one of our CFO clients. You know what? We want to know the data for only marketing and salaries. Okay, so we prepare financial statements. We as accountants, we prepare those financial statements following GAAP. But then internally, the client requires an additional report of marketing expenses, which is 70% of their expense. And then the other 20%, it's salaries. So what we want to focus is on that area. How can we either maximize the investment on marketing so we can generate revenue, or how can we reduce that investment and continue maximizing the investment to generate revenue? So you see, I'm speaking to you in terms that a CFO will speak to the client. If the client is knowledgeable in those terms. If not, I will go and say, hey, look, we're spending 70%. And remember, we've been drilling this into you. Fuck your numbers. Yes? Okay. The only number that I'm going to ask you to know is your revenue. And for this example, I'm going to say we have $1 million revenue. Okay. So 70% of the revenue, okay, it's going to marketing. Shit, that's $700,000. You're quick to make math because you know just one number, which is your revenue. All the others, you need to know nothing about them. Fuck those numbers. Your CFO does need to know those numbers. So I'll tell you, you know what? 70% of your revenue, it's going to marketing. That's $700,000 that it's going to Facebook, Google Ads, this, and this. I should have that information at the tip of my tongue. I should know that information in and out. I should know that out of that 70%, 50% is going to Facebook, 20% is going to Google Ads, 20% is going to LinkedIn, 10% is going to all the additional ads. But those ads are this, and this, and that. Wow. And do you know all that information for all your clients? Yes, I do. If you ask me about any of my clients, I know that information in and out. I can sit with that client tomorrow print those financials and tell them how they're doing. Give me your financials and I can tell you how you're doing. But that's what the Shark CFO does. That's what the Shark CFO knows. Now, what does a CFO do? What the fuck CFO stands for? Remember in one of our episodes that we said, hey, you need to have a board of directors. And the board of directors generally is comprised of a CEO, a COO, a CFO, Chief Human Resources, CRH, wherever. So CEO is the Chief Executive Officer. The CEO is the head of the company. It's who oversees the whole freaking operation of your business. That's the CEO. Most of the times, the owner, because he just created a job for him, it's the CEO, right? So he's the chief. He's the head of the company. Then you have your COO, which is your Chief Operating Officer. It's pretty much the office manager. It's pretty much who oversees the day-to-day operation of the business. He's all hands in. He gets dirty. He does pretty much everything in the company. He's the operator of the company. The executive officer, the CEO, it's the visionary. It's the owner. It's the one who's bringing in all the freaking ideas, and it's making everybody else work with their ideas on either how to implement them or how to scrap them. Okay, and that's where I come in. The CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. I am sometimes the idea killer. Do you have the money to do that? How much is it going to cost us? Your companies are doing this well because this and this and this and that. The Chief Financial Officer oversees the dineros, the monies, the financial data, the financial information, the profit, the loss. Yes, you're making money. No, you're not making money. Yes, you can take a bonus. No, you cannot take a bonus. Yes, you can increase salaries. No, you cannot increase salaries. We need to reduce the cost here. We need to increase the cost here. We need to invest in marketing because your marketing is so on point that it's making you the money. What? Yes, that's what the Chief Financial Officer does. A true Chief Financial Officer does that. If you want to grow, if you follow advice, if you follow instruction, if you let your board of directors do what they're supposed to do, and you just let your company be. That's what a CFO does. That's what a Chief Financial Officer does. Fuck, you are so on point in your marketing. You're killing it. For every dollar that we are investing in marketing, you are bringing in $20. You're 20xing. You know what? I'm going to go and look for lines of credit so we can invest them internally. It doesn't matter if the interest is 10% on that line of credit. We are 20xing it. So for every dollar, we're bringing in 20. Fuck, we are going to be making $19 because we're paying 10%. Do you see how my mind works? How my brain works when it comes to the numbers? And those numbers are going to be imprinted, embedded in those financial statements that my bookkeeper and my accountant it's bringing to me internally for my clients. Hey, you know what, so-and-so? That we have this on point. Let's invest. Do this. Now, I can't advise you. We can't advise you on what to invest your money. But we can give you advice on how to position your company. We cannot advise you on what instruments you need to invest. If you need a 401k, I can tell you, hey, go look for a 401k. We can bring you someone to open you a 401k. A chief financial officer focuses on planning and executed visionary, purposely long-term expansions. I can actually tell you it's time for you to merge. I can actually tell you, let's do this acquisition. I can actually tell you, you know what? It's time for us to look for an exit strategy. Maybe you need fresh capital. Maybe you need an investment. Maybe, do you see how valuable a chief financial officer in your team can be if you really know how to use it? If the CFO tells you how to use it, I can only tell you so much. You know what? I want to prepare you a budget. Please provide me this information. But remember, even though we are internally, even though we can become part of your company, some of the information needs to come from either you, the CEO, or your COO, or your chief sales officer. We don't have all that data. We don't have all that information. Just remember when we spoke about internal controls. Internal controls are not just part of the CFO area. They're not. They're all across the board. They're all over the company. As CFO, we focus on budgeting and planning to project. Yes, we can see the future based on your numbers historically. Fortune tellers use the tarot. Fortune tellers use seashells. Fortune tellers use your palm pen. Fortune tellers can read your coffee. They use tools. We CFOs, we are fortune tellers for your company based on what? Damn, your numbers. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Now, Georgia, we protect the company investment. We measure the risk. Dude, you know what? This is going to cause us possible financial risk. Fix it. What? Nobody else has told me that. We maximize your share values. How can you do that? Because we maximize your profits. We maximize your bottom line. We maximize the amount that you can actually pull out based on your salary. And then at the end of the year, your bonuses. We use our experience to take financial information and navigate a business to success. We are not on the steering wheel, but we are at the steering wheel of your profits, of your monies, of your dineros. Marmaja, billetes, hermanos. Yes, in that we are, if you fully utilize us. CFO, it's a big visionary, usually with a team of accountants and bookkeepers to help us implement the financial vision of your company. What are your goals financially? Do you have goals financially? I just want to make a lot of money. Shit, a lot of money for someone, it's $1. That's a lot of money. Ask your kid. What do you want? A $1 or $100? And if they like the dollar, they're going to say, I want $1. And for them, that's shitload of money. What's your financial goal? 1 million, 2 million, 3 millions, 10 millions? Do you even know what you're going to do with that $1 million that you seek? Just do some calculations and you're going to realize that in less than 10 years, you can actually spend $1 million without noticing it. Remember, yesterday I said an example. A client of ours, they wasted it. Yes, literally, they wasted it, $400,000 A year. And they did not even notice. That only takes us 2.2 years to spend $1 million. Spending and making $1 million, it's super easy. $1 million is not a lot of money. It fits literally in this space. In this space, you can actually fit $1 million. Now that I have shared this information and this 3 individuals for a company, they're necessary in a company. They are required in a company. Obviously, step by step. Don't try to bring us, if you're a startup, as your CFOs, because you might not be able to afford us, or in general, afford a CFO. You don't need a CFO from the get-go. You do need a bookkeeper and an accountant, because you do need financial statements on a regular basis. How often do you review or even get financial statements either from you, that you are your internal accountant bookkeeper, or from your actual accountant? Do you have an accountant? I'm pretty sure you have a bookkeeper. I am pretty sure you have a bookkeeper. How often do you review those numbers? We are almost at the end of the 3rd quarter. We are at a crucial time to review our 2020 data, to review our financial statements, to do proper late tax planning. Let's be proactive. Let's be a step ahead of everybody else. Be prepared. You might think that because of the current situation that we're living, you're going to have a lousy month. Let me tell you one thing. Overall, with our clients, we have had to do some major tax planning because they've been making so much revenue because they were positioned properly and they pivoted, and this current situation has not affected them. Do you know you might be in the blacks thinking that you're in the reds, and it's going to come as a shocker to you that at the end of the year, shit, why am I going to pay taxes? Do something. Well, dude, it's February 2021. Unfortunately, I can't turn back time. Unfortunately, I can't. So here are some recommendations on when your business needs financial advisors. And plain and simple, it's right now. Period. When do I need an accountant? The moment you decide to open a business. How can I set up my books? Okay, you're not listening to me. Are you an accountant, bookkeeper, or are you in the manufacturing business to create these mugs? Yes, but I have no money, and you'll continue having no money. Does it make sense? I think it does. I think it resonates with you. Oh, but you're too expensive. Expensive for what? Maybe I have not been able to transmit the value that we can provide you. Let me show you. What if this year your revenue and your expenses provide you a $200,000 in profits? But because of what we do, for tax purposes, implementing some tax strategies and applying the tax code properly, we save you $80,000 in taxes. Our fees are paid twice with that. Today, I want to show you a quick video on how you can get all of our notifications on Facebook. First, you want to go to the right-hand side and click the three little dots. Select Follow Settings. Click the little button that says See First, and then select the button that says Standard. This will make sure you get all the content that we post from Invictus Advisors on Facebook. Jeff, roll the tape. As you can see, it's very, very easy. It's just a couple of steps. So I invite you to do that, and you'll get information at your fingertips. I also want to invite you to a very special webinar we will be hosting on Thursday, September the 17th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes, because we are in San Diego, California. And at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be hosting a very, very interesting webinar. Whether or not you have an accountant, whether you or not you have a CFO, whether or not you have a bookkeeper, you need to attend. You really need to attend. We are giving you tools that are going to help you. If you just implement one of them, at least one of them, I promise you, they're going to help you free some time and grow your business. You actually need to fall in love again with your business. You actually need to fall in love with the sole purpose of why you started your business. The webinar, it's entitled, Is Your Current Accountant Hurting Your Business? Even if you're our clients, you need to watch this video because maybe we are hurting your business and we don't want to hurt your business. So sign up at invictus-advisors.com/webinar so you can attend this webinar. And I want to end up today's Lunch with the Shark with a quote from Anthony Noto, who is currently the CEO of SoFi, a personal finance company. Before that, he was actually the COO of Twitter. Yes, a tool that our President of the United States loves using every single freaking day. Dude, stop using it. Let me help you. Stop using it. So he said, today, I think a CFO needs to be more of an operating CFO, someone who's using the financial data and the data of the company to help bring strategy, the allocation of capital, and the management of risk. Today, a CFO. Today, the Shark CFO, it's a hands-on CFO, COO operator. We get our hands dirty all across the company. We just don't sit watching data come in and analyzing. Numbers are very important. Even though I say fuck your numbers, you need to be aware of where your company is going through that person, through that team member that has your back. The Shark CFO. See you next Monday from a very special area. We're going to be traveling. So see you next Monday Have an amazing weekend. Unplug, disconnect, purge your brain from your business. Relax, enjoy. Have an amazing weekend. Bon appetit. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to Lunch with the Shark. If you would like to set up a consultation with the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa, visit his website www.invictus-advisors.com and don't forget to subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn.